checkup.
Okay, so sir, now let's take us through it. So there is a checkup which the pilots and of course the technical crew do, but the pilot also do a very cursory checkup, and it's a very cursory checkup for obvious signs of physical damage, right? Which the pilots do. That happens right before they come into the cockpit. Now, obviously, the plane has had engines running. The pilots have been confident enough that the engines were running, so that they went down the runway and attempted takeoff. Now, either they realized that they did not have sufficient power, but it was too late to abort the takeoff, or they lost power, or there is a third option, Wing Commander Duggal, and we don't know yet, but could it be that the flight was simply overloaded and its weight was misreported to the pilots?
All that is possible. All that is possible. And in today's world, with the conflict going on, I don't know. I don't want to pre-guess anything. We need to be very careful in guessing everything.
Okay. So I just want to take you through the scenario, ladies and gentlemen, because the reason why your bags are weighed and there is a limit on your baggage, the reason that is that the aircraft has a limited runway and limited max power. It has a limited load capacity. Now, there have been instances in the past that if the load of the aircraft is misreported to the pilots, which means the pilots are not aware of the exact weight of the people and luggage they are carrying on board, they miscalculate potentially the length of runway they require for a takeoff. Okay? This has happened in the past, where inaccurate assessments have been provided to the pilots. I don't know whether this has happened in this case or not, but there have been cases in the past that due to which the takeoff has had to happen a lot later than the pilot anticipated, because the plane has simply not been able to generate enough lift and enough velocity to take off in the limited period of the runway. Now, the Ahmedabad airport is a pretty long airport. It can handle these flights pretty easily. It's not one of those very complex short runway airports where you have to find it very difficult to land and take off from. But what is again visible on your screens is a flight that seems to be in control. I mean, until the point of the crash, you would think that this flight is simply landing. It's got its nose up. It's not nose diving, it's not veering anywhere, it's just a rapid glide into takeoff, and that can only mean that the pilots have had no access to power, because this plane, as Wing Commander Duggal has told you, should be able to operate. So even if one engine goes down, okay, the pilots would have enough time to gain altitude and return to the airport. They would have been able to circle, issue a mayday and return to the airport, even if one engine had gone down. But in this case, it seems that they have no power whatsoever. They have just glided into the ground, and we know this has happened within 60 seconds. Wing Commander Duggal, you want to make a point? Go ahead, then I'll rope in the others.
What the information is coming out is that the pilot made a mayday call, which indicates this call is made when there is a critical system failure. And we come back to our basic point that there is some basic foundation problem, before the takeoff. So this mayday call indicates that there is some critical system failure. Now, I don't know, only this investigating team, which is Aircraft Accident and Investigation Bureau, AAIB, which is at the spot now, and they will, as the time passes by, they will come out with some preliminary investigations,
Okay.
final ones. So this is an important input which is coming out, which has caught my attention actually.
Okay, so I'm getting a lot of information. I'm of course trying to be careful in making sure that at least is run through some authority before we put it on your screens. What is visible is visible. Yes. It has been brought to my attention, Wing Commander Duggal, that Ahmedabad airport, in fact, at 3,500 meters, 3.5 kilometers, is India's longest runway. So there is no issue particularly that we could spot that this is, we've seen when the crash happened in Mangalore, that the pilots on landing simply ran out of runway because it's on a tabletop. If they had more space, this is literally India's longest airport, 3.5 kilometers. So this was not a case that the airport, because of design, because of lack of lack of runway capacity, that something is that they've just not had enough runway to lift off. This is obviously something wrong with the plane. Wing Commander Duggal. Can Wing Commander Duggal hear us? Okay, I'm guessing not. My colleague Manohar is with us as well. What you're watching on your screen, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, are rescue teams arriving at a spot when there seems to be nobody left to rescue. That's the harsh and painful reality. The site has already been accessed, almost the entire site, and there's nothing to be found there. It's painful. Now, we know that Boeing aircraft have had a unhappy track record, and this of course goes particularly to the Boeing aircraft that have been which is the 737 MAX, which have been involved in multiple crashes in 2019, in 2020, then again in 2024. That was a different aircraft. That was a 737 MAX, which was grounded, of course, several times after these crashes.
Yes. Rishabh, just some more information